international search developed since Oban was first established?
International search has changed dramatically in the last 8 years since Oban first started. In those days, online marketing was still in its infancy, and SEO was as well, and SEO was seen with some scepticism by a lot of people. When people did go international, they ended up just translating their websites with a sort of finger in the air, give it a go kind of approach without any idea if it would really work.
What made you want to start up Oban Multilingual in the first place?
Well, when we first started, the focus was really on English usage of the web, and we felt that the web was likely to grow globally with its own cultural dimensions, and even experts like David Crystal were saying at the time that if you wanted to use the web, then you'd have to have English. We didn't agree, and as things have developed, we've seen local search behaviours grow incredibly. And why would people search in relation to English? Things are very much culturally driven.
What happened next in terms of Oban's development?
We realised that in order to deliver the best local SEO, what we needed to do is have teams across the world. And so over 8 years ago, or when we first started 8 years ago, what we did is we created teams into 26 markets around the world with the mission to be able to deliver the highest SEO locally of the highest quality, which puts us in a fantastic position to be probably the best agency in the world for delivering localized campaigns. It also puts us in a great position to keep the public informed about what's happening on a global level for online usage.
What is international internet usage like today?
Well, 2009 was a really fascinating year. The French decided at long last to give up their usage of their own search engine and decided to use the internet much more, and they had an increase of about 50% in 2009. Similarly, the Chinese market grew rapidly with an extra 100 million users being added in 2009, which is now outstripping the US in terms of usage, but their penetration is still very low. And so 2009 was really a watershed year in terms of internet usage globally, and 2010 is set to continue the same way.
Could you give us some pointers on international SEO?
The most important thing to remember is that search engines around the world like local, whether it be Google, whether it be Yandex in Russia or Baidu in China. For anyone going into international SEO, what they need to do first of all is do some analysis of who they're up against, their competitors in each local market, top level domains, hosting, etc., and build a strategy around who they've got to beat locally and globally. In terms of keyword research, translations just don't work. And I'll give you an example. We did some work for a client of ours in the technology field, and they had perfectly good translations of the German term. However, it had no search on. Our teams found that the equivalent term that was being searched for in German with over 40,000 searches a month on it. And so, this is a very clear indication that translations don't work, that keyword research, which is local, is very, very vital to a localized international SEO or a PPC campaign. In terms of Google even, you have to consider that your results on google.co.uk are going to be different to your results on google.com, and it's very difficult to do well on both without a defined strategy. And that again is because search engines like Google have a very localized approach to their search results. They will match the best results to the people in their geographical position.
Everyone's talking about social media. Does this come into international SEO?
It really does. Global social media has grown rapidly across the world, but what's happened, like with search, is grown very locally. You only have to see our article on China and Twitter to see that, or have a look at Brazil and Orkut. All of it has an amazing impact on internet behaviour and internet usage, and is set to increase rapidly again over 2010, but on a very local and cultural level.
Are there any other tips you could give?
Yeah, I'll leave you with a gem from our Italian friends who are notorious for creating their own culturally driven search terms. One travel term that they've created is the term last second as one word, which is synonymous with last minute travel and this kind of thing. Now, our Italian researchers and teams found that the term last second has over 5,000 searches a month on it just as the head term. And that's the kind of international SEM nugget that really is part of Oban and what we do.